Good day and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at Warbands, a bit of a preview of Warbands. Obviously they've been looked at a little bit in like online videos. Blizzard's released some pretty cool information however about Warbands, which I think is pretty rad. So we are going to, I guess, take a look and just kind of see and yeah, discuss a little bit. I think there's a lot of really good stuff with it. Yeah, so basically how warbands work is essentially warband is just your account now, kind of. Warband essentially changes things in that your alliance and horde characters now can actually connect. So basically your alliance and horde characters can essentially transfer or share, rewards, progress, and achievements, which ultimately is something really cool. Now, it's important to note, like it says here, that your warband is limited to your region, so only your characters on your EU account will share it, but realms, factions, and everything else is all shared. So there's some cool cosmetic stuff. Basically, that you can set up like these cool little scenes, camps that you can put your characters in, and basically just gives you a little bit of information about your characters. You can see, for example, like it says here, once in the warband, okay, you will no longer need to swap between realms with characters on those realms. One exception is if you have multiple World of Warcraft subscriptions. So this is pretty cool. You can put 4 characters into a scene, but you don't only have 4 characters in your warband. Basically, I think warbands don't have a select limit as far as I understand, so that's pretty cool. And essentially it will just give you a nice snapshot into the into the progress and information that you make, so that's really cool. Warbands also share items, so essentially warbands share some really cool kind of items for you, which I think is really rad. So that's something really cool, and I think that's definitely something that helps a lot. So warbands, sharing a bank between all characters. And all characters can access the bank, deposit, withdraw items freely. You have 98 here, it says, available inventory slots in each, and each tab can be purchased for an increasing amount of gold. It's like a guild vault basically, and it's really cool. So non-soulbound items can be stored in Warband Bank, I should say. You can store reagents in there, so you can craft from it as well, which is really cool. And this is great, especially for those times where you collect a ton of cloth on your characters and you've always wanted to transfer it to your other characters, but it's a bit of a schlep, or you got to use the mail. Now, this aspect of it doesn't exist. So now for this one, at least, that aspect is gone. The UI and the functionality of the Warbank makes it a lot easier. You can play, pretty good stuff. Now, if you play multiple characters simultaneously on multiple World of Warcraft accounts, it does say here that you'll find that only the character that logs into the realm first will have access to the Warband Bank. So it seems like only one character can access it at a time, but I don't think that's a huge problem for most players. Right, so to get that, you do have to complete the Warbanding Together storyline quests in and around Gadgetan. This will help you get your storage, it seems. You'll be rewarded with Warband Bank Distance Inhibitor spell. This spell allows you to summon a personal portal directly to your Warband Bank. So basically making it very mobile, very easy to deposit. Right, a new aspect of it as well that comes along with this is a new type of equipment. So Warbound until equipped. Warbound until equipped is a new type of gear. Can be freely traded across your warband, but it becomes soulbound once it's equipped. So this is pretty cool. It says here raids, dungeons, delves will drop it. There's a slight bonus chance to gain an additional piece of Warband gear alongside your personal loot. It will be a tier lower than that source, which is interesting. But basically it's a way to help gear up your other characters. So let's say you're running like a Mythic Plus and you're getting champion gear. Then, like it says here, you're getting hero gear. Then, like it says here, you'll get a piece of champion gear for your Warbound until equipped gear, which I think is cool. I don't really have a huge issue with this. I think it's something that's cool in a sense that, especially if you're someone who's doing a lot of high-level content on one character, getting stepping stone gear for your ults while playing your main is never a bad thing. I don't know what the drop rate will be, but if it's anything like buying BOEs and stuff, then I doubt you're going to be filling up your Warband Bank super duper quickly. Then enhancing your Transmog collections. So I think this is probably one of the better changes. Basically, now you collect the Transmog as soon as you collect the item. Basically, what's really cool is now, so before, a great example is like if you were a priest, like it says here, and you picked up a plate helmet, for example, or running an older raid, before you wouldn't get the appearance, because a priest cannot equip a helmet. Now, you would get the appearance. Doesn't mean you can put plate helmets on your priest, but it means that basically you will now be able to get appearances a lot easier. You also get appearances without having to equip items. Anytime you disenchant an item or something, you'll get the appearance as well. And you can also collect the appearance from buying an equipped gear by converting it to Warbound until equipped gear instead. So this is pretty cool. Any existing gear that you have will also be added into your collection as well. And I think this is all really, really solid. Basically, you can also greed for Transmog, which I think is something interesting, but also pretty cool. So a lot of really good changes, I think, all over the place, which is really good. And then we come to probably also another great change. So I think so far we've had great changes. I think the additional equipment is really good. I think Warbound until equipped is really good. I think the Warband Bank is pretty good. I think the Transmog change is great quality of life change. It's not a game-saving change or anything, but I think it's really, really good. Then we have the Warband wide reputation. This is really solid because this shares your progress made on one character with your other characters. So rewards will be unlocked. Warband wide rewards will be granted only once, while some rewards will remain character specific and need to be collected. So from what I understand here, essentially this seems to be, like it kind of explains here, if you're at Renown 5 for Voldraken on one character and Renown 10, your new Warband Voldraken Accord Renown will be level 10. So it does mention here that reputations are going to become account wide, and it seems to be applying retrospectively to a lot of reputations, but they do say some reputations will not be able to become account wide due to them not fitting with the fantasy for those reps. Like Winterpelt Furbolg have a language learning component, the Glimmerog Racer reputations, a personal standing with the snails. These are, I think, good decisions actually. I'm all for sharing reputation. If you're a warband, collection of heroes that are traveling through Azeroth, it makes sense to share your reputation to a certain degree. I think you should still reward characters that spend, or players that spend the majority of their time on one character. I think when you make everything account wide, I think then it just kind of makes the character not feel like an avatar of yourself. It just feels like a skin you wear. So I think this is really, really good. They do seem to mention that it is going to take time to convert reputations in previous expansions, and they do say a limited number won't be converted. Obviously, Elder and Scryer and Burning Crusade, Covenants and Shadowlands, and I think these are wise decisions because these are story related, or have a certain kind of story component to them. First time quest rewards so there's like a bonus now, it seems. Players can earn a bonus quest reward for a quest completed for the first time on their warband, which is really, really cool. And additional unique bonuses will be granted for completing a quest additional times. So first time completion will drop reputation. Additional completions will earn bonus currency, like Dragon Hour supplies, etc. This will be transferable across your warband. So it seems like there's going to be like a warband supplies that your character will be able to use to buy certain rewards and things. Then we come to achievements. So with warbands, all achievements are considered warband. Total warband achievement score will be tracked and displayed. The score will be the sum of all account-wide achievements. Many achievements have become account-wide, approximately 2,000, like they say. I think, for me, what they say here, very similarly to the reputation, is quite wise. So like they say here, like there are achievements for doing activity on one character as part of what makes it hard or interesting, such as Insane in the Membrane, since the hard part is maxing it out diametrically, which I think is true. This is the one where you have to like kill literally thousands of enemies to get it. I think this is really important to have. They are changing them to like to feats of strength, which is interesting. But yeah, I think for me, ultimately, at the end of the day, it is still something cool. And they mentioned that stuff like PvP, Mythic Plus achievements, prestigious achievements, basically, are all going to be essentially, like character personal achievements. I think this is very, very important. I think ultimately it's something that's really actually important for your character. When you're getting account-wide recognition, like I said, it's great, but if that character can still have their personal things attached to them, I think it's still very, very good. So I think, ultimately that's really solid stuff. Map exploration, for those who may not be as interested in re-exploring every map on your characters, they do have the ability to add the Warband map to everywhere at once toy that will reveal all map regions explored by members. Have 2 max level characters and this map can be yours. So they give you a way to optionally switch on the map. Again, I think it's a wise decision. I think giving players the options to engage in warband stuff to a certain degree and not engage in warband stuff to a certain degree is very good, and I think very important when we discuss like player agency and control of what their experience of World of Warcraft is going to be. And I think the 2 final ones are just very solid ones. So sharing the wealth, to avoid confusion over spending the wrong currency on the wrong character, the currency is not fully warband wide. Instead, it can be transferred between individual characters in your warband. So instead of relying on buying a unique item and mailing it to your alt, you can directly transfer any shareable currency from other characters to the ones you're currently playing within the current user interface. Currencies you intended to purchase warband items such as cosmetics will be completely transferable. In cases where currencies are earned on the character with the intent the character will be the primary user, but the excess needs to be moved, there'll be a slight loss in the transfer of that currency. So they do say here, like Cosmic Flux, things like that, can all be transferred, and basically you can transfer your currencies. So note that there will be many currencies that will remain non-transferable because they represent important character-based progression. 2 examples of these are crests and flightstone equivalents and the war within. So you're not going to be able to transfer basically current expansion currencies that represent upgrading your character essentially. I think this is to kind of prevent people just getting their warband gear and transferring it, and then immediately transferring crests and immediately upgrading it, and then immediately that character is max level. So I think they're trying to avoid that because it can cause a lot of problems, and they will prevent that. But time warp badges, great example, which I think is smart, because there's so many times where I have like 500 time warp badges here and 1,000 there, and 200 here, and if you could add them all together, I could get something really cool. And I think that's a really good change. And then we have shared fly points for your warband. So fly points will all be account-wide. Standard fly points you have yet to learn, you only have to collect those on one character, and then they'll be unlocked. Anything you've unlocked already basically will be unlocked. So I think warbands, just to kind of surmise it, I think these are fantastic changes. So, from the UI elements, I think that's cool. Nothing too crazy, but I think this is really cool. And like the whole, no more switching between realms and stuff, I think is very, very smart. The shared banking is really smart and clever. I think it's something that is definitely needed. It removes the unnecessary aspect of the mail system and makes mailing just fall between characters that are not on the same account, which is better. The sharing is caring, the additional loot. Look, I think Warbound until equipped is a solid idea. We have to see in practice what the drop rates is like, because it could be a bit impactful on how mechanics work for high level players in terms of gearing else, but we'll have to see. Transmog Collection is just a great quality of life change. I don't see anything wrong with what they've done here at all. Warband wide reputation. Listen, I think the way they're doing it is probably what I would institute as being correct, and I think is great. Achievements, look, I think it's a minor change to what they're currently doing. Like they say, a lot of things are account-wide anyway, but I think this is just a way to differentiate now between your account and your character, which I think is good. Map exploration, I like that it's optional to a certain extent, so that's very good. And sharing the wealth, I think, is an exceptional change. So I think, all in all, Warbands probably is the best quality of life change ever for World of Warcraft, at least based on what I'm seeing. But I'd love to hear what you guys think, and yeah, just let me know. Bye.